This video is sponsored by Tokyo Treat. Alright, so we got the 3D9 spoilers, and this chapter is called Relief and Prayers, and I'm absolutely going to have to go into what was going on in the previous chapter because I wasn't able to review that one. I was hoping that this chapter was going to be a little longer and went into more stuff, but surprisingly it's not. Like, the previous chapter was 11 pages, and this one is as well. So anyway, we saw that the Todoroki family had come to the surface after the elevator stuff wasn't working anymore, which of course was very convenient for the plot, but we saw that they immediately noticed that Dabi was, creating his big sphere of fire from a distance, and we found out that Rei, his mother, was able to get a ride on one of these transport robot things, and it took her immediately to where Endeavor was fighting Dabi. And when she got there, she was like activating her ice quirk because, we know that she is like the originator of this ice quirk, which I think they call Frost in the anime, but I don't know if that's ever been officially confirmed in the manga. Maybe they also say it in the Ultra Analysis book, but I think it's only the anime where they say that. But we've never actually really seen her use it before, and she's using it here to defend herself from Endeavor and Dabi's flames, more so Dabi's, but also trying to use them to cool Dabi down and extinguish him. And she's also somehow able to survive this long enough, although she is taking a lot of serious burns here, which I assume as she survives this sequence, she will keep for like the end afterwards, which I guess could be symbolic to Shoto and the other family members getting named here, with Dabi and Endeavor, if Dabi survives, but that's a story for another time. But also Fuyumi and Natsuo show up at the same time, and they're using, I guess, their ice quirks as well. I mean, I guess they have to, because they don't have their fire quirks. They do have ice quirks, which they inherited from their mother. They didn't get the fire from Endeavor, because they have to use it here to survive, just the way that Rei is as well. And while this is happening, Dabi is very aware that they are there as well. Dabi, while he is unhinged and psychopathic and, on his death mission at this point, he only really wanted to take down Endeavor and Shoto. He definitely didn't want to kill Rei, Natsuo, and Fuyumi, because when he sees them, he's, calling out their names. So this is... I don't know, the beginning of Dabi's redemption. I don't really know how you can redeem him at this point. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of fans in the comments for Dabi, and that's fine. But I just mean, aside from him just being a character, I mean, what he literally is at this point. He's like barely human. He like doesn't even have skin. He looks like a Titan from Attack on Titan. But we see Fuyumi and Natsuo like, trying to not only calm him down with their quirks, but also their words. And the chapter ended with Dabi like laughing at Endeavor, which is, similar to the flashback that we saw of Toya laughing, manically kind of. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Tokyo Treat. Tokyo Treat is a monthly pop Japanese snack subscription box where you'll get up to 20 of the latest, most exclusive, limited edition, and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks that are only available in Japan for a limited time, like Sakura Pepsi, Japanese sake Kit Kats, ramen, and many more. It also comes with this awesome booklet that gives you information on all of the snacks in the box, as well as information about Japan and its culture. This month's box is Osaka Snack Nation. This month, Tokyo Treat is exploring the colorful sights and mouth-watering flavors of Japan's culinary capital, Osaka. Get your taste buds ready to explore the flavors of Osaka's legendary street food as they show you all around its must-see sights and delve into its unique culture of entertainment. Tokyo Treat wants to bring you an authentic taste of Japan's kitchen through this flavorful adventure, and that's why they packed this box full of their favorite Osaka-inspired snacks. So this time we just immediately went for the chocolate orange Kit Kats because she was so excited for these things. And now I can see why, because as usual, these things are incredible, but this one is especially so. It really captures that orange essence. We also tried the Okonomiyaki Senbai, and I've had Okonomiyaki in Japan, and they've somehow replicated that into this Senbai snack. This was so good and full of umami. We also tried the Kobe melon soda, and as always, the soda that Tokyo Treat gives us is so refreshing and not too over carbonated like a lot of the Western sodas. We also tried the chocolate bread bites, and the texture on these things are incredible, and the chocolate cream inside is just perfect. So guys, if you're interested in getting your very own Tokyo Treat box, please check out the link in the description and make sure you use my code Zhoniin. That way you'll get $5 off your very first box. Thanks guys. And we see this vision of an alternate reality, I suppose, where I guess Dabi grew up and he didn't become Dabi and he stayed Toya, and we see what Toya would have looked like, you know, if he wasn't Dabi. And we see the rest of the family around him too without Shoto. And it's kind of like Endeavor finally acknowledging him as worthy, or actually his son, because all that he really saw as Toya before was just kind of like a failed experiment, which of course led to all of this. But that brings us to this chapter that begins with an explosion happening, and the cops in the HQ saying that the speed of the temperature's increase has slowed down, but this does not mean that they have managed to stop the explosion because the temperature itself has not gone down. So I assume this is in reference to what the Todoroki family is doing here, all, you know, acting as interim firefighters with their ice quirks, but the temperature itself has not gone down as they're saying here. So there's still that ticking clock of Dabi going off like a nuke, which is like, you know, the whole thing here, which is why Endeavor was trying to take him into the sky to, you know, do what Iron Man did at the end of the first Avengers movie, I suppose, except not sending him into an interdimensional space portal, but more so, you know, going down with the ship, which I was totally on board with, but it doesn't seem like Horikoshi wants to do that, and that's fine. We see Rei, Fuyumi, and Natsuo using their ice to protect themselves, and then it cuts to Dabi's POV. He's looking at Endeavor and thinking, everyone is looking at me. Oh, so that's how it feels. If it was such an easy thing to do, then why didn't it happen sooner? This is, of course, another callback to Toya in his youth. As he became more and more manic, he just wanted Endeavor to look at him. And he kept saying it, you know, out loud, you know, look at me. Because Endeavor, like we talked about, didn't see Toya as like a son or even so much as a person anymore at that point. He was more so just interested in Shoto. But now, you know, in an ironic twist, everyone is looking at him, but for the wrong reasons. Meanwhile, Tiger is telling all the heroes to evacuate, and we see that Uraraka is still fighting Toga in her twice form. Tetsu holds Kendo's hand to make her run faster, and the Mazagaki kids are in UA robots, watching the explosions on a tablet. So the Mazagaki kids, I assume, are those kindergarten kids or first grade. I don't know what grade they were in, but the kids from that part of the story where Shoto and Inasa had to make up the test because they had failed the provisional license exam. The kids that were kind of hinted at it being like the next generation of UA heroes or just UA students. But also we see that Uraraka is still fighting Toga, and I assume that this is going to be the next thing that the story focuses on, maybe, because that still needs to be wrapped up. And it's probably going to be happening at a similar pace to this, I suppose. And then Tetsu holding Kendo's hand, I assume that these two are going to wind up together at the end. It was kind of set up that they're like a thing, or they're going to be a thing, which is fine. The reporter who appeared a few chapters ago was flying over the area in her helicopter and filming everything, while remembering Endeavor telling them to watch him. In one of the evacuation camps, the "can't you see it boy" watches everything while praying. So the "can't you see it boy," I'm pretty sure this is in reference to when Endeavor was taking on the Haya Nomu, and, you know, Endeavor still hadn't been redeemed yet. Not with the audience, but the people in the world, I don't know, they were kind of lukewarm on him. The whole Dabi scandal hadn't been revealed yet, but he was kind of just taking over for All Might because, you know, All Might had retired, and Endeavor, being the number 2 hero, was bumped up to number 1. So that was like his big proving moment, and this kid was like one of the main pillars in that. Cut to a cafe in the Philippines to show a woman also starting to pray. One of the Masagaki kids says, "It's okay, we still have 5 PP, man." And then it cuts to Shoto and Ida flying through the sky at an insane speed as Shoto activates his phosphor move. End of chapter. So yeah, 5 PP man is what they called him in those stretch of chapters / episodes. Shoto, because he has those little dangling utility things hanging from his belt. But yeah, the chapter is ending with something we were hoping that was going to happen sooner, but, you know, better late than never. Shoto and Ida are finally showing up here. Ida was able to muster up the last bit of his energy and was able to blast them all the way to where they are currently. They were like going off of buildings and stuff. This happened a couple chapters back where Stain also was witnessing this and finally acknowledged Ida and Shoto as true heroes, I suppose. But this was a, you know, necessary device to get Shoto to this area right here so that he can be the final, I suppose, firefighter to stop Dabi. And we knew that this was going to happen more or less. I mean, it was perfectly set up, so why not? But Shoto using his phosphor move again, which we saw him use in his first fight against Dabi, which was happening at the somewhat beginning of this arc. It was like over a year ago, I think, that was going down, right? But his phosphor move, in theory, should be able to, I don't know, mitigate the heat from Dabi, and then that will allow the rest of the Todoroki family to completely cool him down with their ice. And then, I don't know, I guess this will be Dabi's farewell, because I'm not sure how he's going to survive this. Because like I said, he's barely a person anymore. So unless they do completely cool him down and he's somehow able to live with like 18th degree burns or something, not really sure, but I do think that we're going to have our final moments maybe in the next chapter where Dabi, you know, finally says what he's always wanted to say out loud, and the family says what they say to him, and, you know, like, hey, we're sorry things turned out the way they did and we should have been better. At least Rei and Endeavor, of course. Fuyumi and Natsuo, of course, they come around as well. Natsuo more so. Fuyumi's kind of like the true innocent one in all of this. Shoto too, to a lesser extent. But yeah, that's the end of the chapter, and I'm kind of just ready to see the ending of this Todoroki family drama, to be honest. I mean, I do like it. It seems like this is the part of the story that Horikoshi really cares the most about. Like, he's put more into the Todoroki family's backstory and development than he has with the Izuku's, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, and if you like the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. See you in the next one.